Recording in progress.
Her voice got a little more. Okay, she fixed her attitude a little bit. I will say this.
She did. She eased into her job now.
Yeah, I think she understands that we're not the slave drivers she originally thought. And we weren't just going to invite her on here to spit on her face and tell her to push buttons.
We are not the bad people in this situation.
No.
I'm glad she learned. I'm glad she
we write the
that
checks.
We do, but you know what? We might be demanding, but it's because we're pushing you to be better.
Yeah, and we want you to want the same for yourself, you know?
Yes.
So we have to put these like expectations out there. I mean, if we're not pushing you, then who is? You know?
Exactly.
I'm loving the Misfits Cup.
Thanks, man. So my bandmate and our good friend Ray, he actually bought me a Misfits Cup mug for Christmas, and within like 2 or 3 months it broke. I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
So I ended up buying a replacement one because I did like them. I got this one on Etsy, in honor of Ray, because Ray is a great guy and I don't want to disrespect him like that. So this is his cup. This is me replacing his gift for his memory.
I mean, you guys are the rhythm section of California Crush, so this is important.
We are a unit. But I love the mug. It's a good sized mug. Have you ever noticed that? Now you know it, like now that we're older and we drink coffee and tea, like there's a good sized mug.
Yeah. So I like it, if we're gonna get on mug-isms or whatever we should call it. I also enjoy this. I got these Starbucks mugs from I think I got it from my cousin Caroline and Rocky, but they're nice and like fat and deep.
Yeah.
Kind of like that one. Yeah, dude, it's a great tea. You could even, if you wanted, you can do soup in it. You know?
This one is like a solid 12 ounce of coffee. Which is awesome because with my coffee maker, if I hit the 12, it goes up to the rim, but there's still just plenty enough to put some like cream in it.
Yeah.
I went with 10 ounces this time. But yeah, it's a good size mug, dude, because sometimes they're like way too big. I feel like early, they were like really too big. And then my brother brought me one from Japan. And pretty sure for tea or something. And this one's like 8 ounces, so it's kind of smaller. But I mean, it's Japan. And I know America here, we like our portions, we like everything a little bit bigger.
I thought that was a dick joke. Was it a dick joke?
It can be taken as a dick joke, but you know what? It's just real. We love our shit here. It's real.
I mean, they got Godzilla,
That's true. But you know what? Also, as I'm noticing this, so it's really cool. Let me show it. I got this on Etsy, so it's the Misfits or whatever. In the back says we are 138, and you can tell like they use that like whatever, like that print thing. What's that? The Cricut or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think like that's what it's called, the Cricut.
Yeah, the shit that like
makes
they
the
sell
labels
to like yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty sure Glenn Danzig would not be happy with this. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of copyright infringement going on here. But you know what? Come take my mug and take a picture with me.
Yeah. You know what though? I mean, he made it. Whatever, dude. Sure. He could get mad.
How much money do you need, bro? How much money?
I mean, like, I don't want
to.
I mean, I don't want to say that because then, like, if I was selling some shit, I'd get annoyed. But like, yeah, like, you're still selling tickets, and how does Doyle feel about it? Is the real question. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, we only talk about Jerry only, and we only talk about, or is it Jerry only or Jerry one?
No, Jerry only. I think that's right. He's the guitar player, right?
The bass player.
He's the bass player. Doyle's the guitar player.
And who happens to be his brother also.
See, the last name threw me off. I thought Von Frankenstein was his real last name.
I mean, I think it's different father.
Different scientists.
Yeah, different scientists.
Dr. Jekyll versus Dr. Frankenstein.
That's what I want to know. How does Jerry feel about this?
No, you mean
And then
Doyle.
yes, Doyle. Sorry, Doyle. The whole friend Ben Frankenstein, whatever. Um, have you seen how yoked that guy is?
Yeah, I've seen him live. I thought he was a pro wrestler. How yoked that he was, and how tall he was sitting down. I think I mentioned it before, but I went to this is 2012, maybe 2013, when Kirk Hammett did his festivals in the city, where he
Okay, yeah.
had a bunch of horror props. He had literally the original guy who was Godzilla there.
Yeah.
In the well, he didn't wear the Godzilla suit because he's like a million years old now. The dude was
Yeah.
alive during World War II, so he's a fossil.
Yeah. he's a world treasure.
Yeah, dude, he could just tell he hates Americans still. But he you go downstairs because it was at the Regency, and by the way, the Regency, you typically only see the main floor, but that place has like basement type things, even like opera type upstairs, which is crazy. But there was like an area down below where they had like booths and people, and they're like signing and showing shit. And then Doyle was just by himself. Looked like he was like, when there's like the club day at high school, and like there's like the fucking ASB club, and like they got music and everyone's over there, and then there's the jocks who are barbecuing, so like the coaches are getting people to want to join the football team, and then you see like the fucking drama club or the anime club, and it's just like two people drawing on paper and no one gives a fuck about them. That was Doyle. Like he was he was like a smelly fat kid in high school. Like no one was over there. He looked so depressed. He had of course he had his makeup on and just looking more yoked than ever. Like, my buddy Dover was all, dude, it's Doyle. And then we kind of laughed because he looked so sad, dude. He was just like, just this buff dude, and like a 40-year-old buff dude in great shape for his age, by the way. But just wearing his fucking Misfits corpse paint. And you're just like, it's just so funny. I felt like he was hiding his tears. Like,
and it's funny because you kind of look around and be like, does anyone know who the fuck that guy is right there?
That was part of it.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was like annoyed for that reason as well. Like, he's like, I'm Misfits royalty, god damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck that Japanese guy who played Godzilla.
Like, if it wasn't for me, Metallica wouldn't be wearing those fucking shirts. God damn it.
Hey, man, that's true. Cliff Burton was a huge Misfits fan.
Yeah, I think especially Cliff. Because like you always see this video of him playing for Who the Bells.
I think Cliff and James were big.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if James was also one. I think
he was, because I think he used to wear the shirts back in the day.
Yeah, he used to wear shirts. And I think he has to, like, how he walks around with that vest now. I think he has like a Misfits.
I think so.
Yeah, also in there.
I dig the vest. I've noticed some of the old Thrashers are doing the vests. I like it.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the new Thrasher look. I mean, no disrespect to the great ones, but like, if you're over 40, pushing on 50, just cut your hair, bro. Keep your hair nice and short, and then like, just go embrace the biker look, man. She's just jeans and black shirt. Wear a little vest here. Just rock it.
I'm the opposite. I say rock it. Rock the long hair.
Come on, bro. Have you not seen Lars? Like, his hairline is
Lars hasn't had long hair since like 91. So
no,
he's taking care of that. Even the last time he had long hair was Black Album. That's 91. That's almost 30. I'm not gonna do the math. It's like 35 years or something. But like no, dude, Lars just looks inbred. So I'm just gonna say that's a bad example. Because look at all the Bay Thrashers. Most of them still have long hair. And they probably dye it, but it's not embarrassing looking though. Like Gary Holt still looks normal. I mean, like, Alex Skolnick has had the white thing in his hair since the 80s. So that's, I don't know. I dig it. Because I feel like I think I'm still like old school in the way, like when Metallica cut their hair, even though I don't hate their music during that era, everyone was so appalled they cut their hair.
they fucking sold out, man.
I'm not gonna say, yeah. Well, people did say that, but I'm not saying sold out. But I'm just like, man, I just envy people. Like, I would kill to have the old man hair that like half of these rockers have, because I'm
Yeah.
already thinning now, and now I'm feeling it. I'm backing up what you're saying, even though I wish I had long hair to rock.
All right. Okay. But can we agree that Kirk Hammett needs to like just let go of the okay.
Yeah,
This is what I really,
Kirk's
really
pretty
hate.
bad. He looks like he's wearing like a Gloria Stefan wig or something.
And then his face when he looks like he has like a jogger suit while playing.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
with
you're right.
glitter and shit. With like glitter and then like Skechers. I'm like, bro, it's just what the
Yeah,
fuck are you going for? Here's my thing.
yeah,
And
I
I love
agree with
Metallica.
that.
I love Metallica. Don't fucking shit on me like, oh fuck you, dude. No. My thing is, bro, if you're still performing, and this goes like for fucking Journey, fucking Def Leppard or whatever. If you're over 50 and you're like reliving your heydays from the 80s, don't dress like the 80s no more, bro. Like, don't go for
Yeah,
like the glam, outfits. Just jeans and t-shirts are your best friends.
that's true.
Be a dad. Be a dad.
Most of these guys did do jeans and t-shirts though. The real thrash people. They were
Oh
pretty
yeah.
casual. I think only like you know what? I'm cool with the leather still. Like Slayer does the leather pants still, and they've been doing it forever. So I'm like, it's fine.
Mm.
But like, there's some
Imagine how much those
bands.
shits will smell.
Oh well, of course. You don't want to smell that.
Fuck, dude.
Get it.
After a show, imagine like how sweaty that shit is.
Well, you know
And
what's
like,
fucked up about leather is it's porous. So like all the sweat and all the shit, all the whatever the fuck fluids come out of that dick or whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just staying there like a sponge. And I don't really know how you clean leather.
Mm.
I mean, like, yeah, dude, for sure. That's probably the
Yeah.
smelliest.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And dude,
Yeah.
if they wore underwear, skid marks galore. Yeah.
Imagine like trying to fit those, like try to put those on like 110-degree weather, like
Or yeah, or taking them off. How you?
yeah, dude. Okay, so I mean, obviously, like bands like Slayer are not gonna do. They're not gonna change in a fucking van. They have like their own dressing room. Like each
Yeah,
person has their own
they
dressing
got a
room.
pretty good bus probably.
If not, they have like their own personal trailer. AC unit, private bathrooms, whatever. I get it. They earned it.
Yeah.
But imagine like stepping out from a fucking air conditioned place for like 70. It's like 70 degrees in there, and you step into like you're going into the stage and like in fucking I don't know deep Alabama, and it's like 110 hella swamp ass everywhere. Imagine like how much suckiness will that just that little walk. Imagine how much it's gonna suck to walk in like the sweat on the freaking on the leather pants, and then yeah, like you said, like you have to peel those motherfuckers off. Like how the fuck do
I'd cut
you?
them off.
Because I can only imagine those pants. If any of my listeners out here own leather pants, let me know how do you take them off? Because I feel like once you've been on them for like a while and they're all sweaty, this just gets like I feel like they just get stickier to your skin.
Yeah, I mean, I would be like a PETA person taking it off. I'd be cutting it up. I'd be like, get this
Yeah.
shit off me. And it's not that I care that much about cows. Like you said, dude, that is a miserable. I mean, like, look, in the 80s, it was cool because girls were like, oh, that's so sexy. But, like, girls don't think that's sexy anymore. So
Girls don't even think we're sexy.
girls
Look at me.
girls want girls now. Girls want us to look like them. This is society's image of what a man should be. It has gone from the macho persona to the castrated, genderless person that they want us as. I have an identity, women. I mean, ladies, or whatever you want to be called.
I will say this though. I am proud. I am proud of playing like in different punk bands and playing in like hardcore bands and like touring with a hardcore band. Because when we toured, all we were for like 3 weeks straight were different basketball shorts
Yeah.
and like a t-shirt and slip-ons. slip-ons or little sandals. The whole tour, 8-hour drive from from El Paso to San Antonio, whatever. Basketball shorts, t-shirts, chanclas. And then when it came time for the show, you put on your Vans or you put on your running shoes, but it was still basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and it worked fine. It was all about comfort. So that way, I'm just saying, when I turn 50, and if I ever play in a hardcore band again, they're like, all right, yeah, we need you to tour. Guess what I'm going to be wearing? Basketball shorts, a t-shirt, and some back support shoes, and it's gonna be hardcore, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be living. No need for leather pants.
And kind of like hip hop from the '90s. If you're fat, wear a jersey.
Yeah, a hockey jersey, because apparently hardcore and hockey go hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, I agree 100%. I think hardcore definitely nailed it as far as wardrobe for my personal taste as well, because I'm a casual, comfortable type of man.
Yeah.
And basketball shorts are almost like underwear in my house. Like, I should have as many of those as I have chones, and I do.
I'm not gonna lie. If I go to the store and I see them for like $5, $6, all right, let me get another black one.
Oh, that's a killer deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. I used to have some bright ass orange ones, like construction worker bright ass orange, and they're fantastic because I'm just walking around my house. Who the fuck is gonna care? And they're so comfortable.
You're just getting whistled at.
Basketball shorts, huh?
Getting whistled at.
Wearing a hard hat everywhere.
Yeah, your tool belt. Look, what was her name from Home Improvement?
The
tool girl.
Oh god, I can't remember.
Kelly or I don't know, some shit.
Dude, I got a story for you, dude. So yesterday, Saturday morning, downtown San Jose. Okay, I went to this burrito place, and I'm thinking you might have heard of this place. It's right next to the batting cages, right there at the Alameda. I don't want to say the name of the business or the establishment. It's not they're going to listen. But.
Okay, Alameda, Santa Clara, or is it?
No, it's like right past. It's like passing the Shark Tank.
Is it before the? I'm gonna narrow this down. Is it after the Motel 6 and the Arena Hotel?
It is past the Arena Hotel, and it is maybe like 2 or 3 businesses past the Motel 6.
So it's kind of close to Meridian, right? Meridian and Alameda almost. Is it? Do they link
Race?
Race. There we go.
Yeah,
That's
it's
street.
like
yes.
Okay, so you know how right there on Race, the Alameda kind of curves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is right before you hit the curve. There's a bakery shop, and right next to the bakery, there's a cafe restaurant that sells one of the best breakfast burritos ever. And they claim that they're the originator of the orange sauce. I'm not sure if you've ever been there, Coop, but I highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure you have. I know you have.
Can I say, do we care about naming it, or do we don't want to name it?
I don't want to name it, but
well, it's fine. It's fine.
We can name it because it's not on the. Okay, whatever. Okay,
we don't have to. I don't know whether you're being sarcastic with knowing what it is or not knowing, because obviously orange sauce is synonymous with a single place we know of, and if you're talking about that place, then yes, I know what it is. But if you're saying this is a different place saying that they invented it, then no, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is a different
place. This is a different place that they invented today.
You don't have to say it. I was trying to make sure I was following along properly.
All right. If anybody's from San Jose, look up breakfast burritos, and this place most likely is going to come up on the Alameda. Anyways.
Yeah.
We so whatever. It's my sister and I. She was going to help me organize or decorate my classroom for, new school year starts on Monday, or the official school year starts on Monday. So I'm like, all right, let me fix up the classroom and make it look pretty. And so my sister's like, hey, let's grab some breakfast burritos, my tree. I'm like, all right, fuck yeah. So we call. Of course, when we get there, they lost the order, so they didn't know what the fuck we're talking about. So they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna put it right out. No, we're gonna make it because I remember taking your order on phone. And they're like, give us 5 minutes. 5 minutes turned to like 20 minutes, but whatever.
Yeah.
While we're outside waiting for our order, there's this let's just refer to her as punk rock Karen. Okay. All right. And she's on her fucking high horse saying some shit like, this is America, freedom. I don't need to wear no mask. I am vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. We have rights. We have freedoms. And I'm like, oh, fuck. It's happening. It's finally happening.
Wait, but she's saying she's vaccinated.
Yeah. And therefore she doesn't have to wear a mask anymore to go inside the establishment. And I'm like, oh, fuck. It's finally happening. I'm finally seeing a Karen in person. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, let me get the phone ready. Let me get, if she says something to me, what's gonna be my comeback? I'm getting prep. I'm getting mentally prepared for this.
Yeah.
And she's like, we have rights, blah, blah, blah. This is America, land of the free. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, damn it, dude. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And some dude on the table, like he's seeing his burrito. Like this is outside. Some dude in the burrito, he kind of looks around, looks at her and goes like, who the fuck asked you? Like that's what like he yells hella loud, like, who the fuck asked you? And then I realized the lady was fighting within like her group because she did not want to wear her mask to go inside to order some food.
Right.
Even though right at the door it says all customers, regardless of vaccination status, should wear a mask or need to wear a mask to enter the establishment.
Right.
And she was throwing this fit about it. And I'm like, first off, lady, like this is a state mandated kind of thing, especially like in the Bay Area, in the county. Like you need to wear your mask, in order to do your business. And second, business owners or businesses are private, they're private property. So if you want to go and do business in that business, you need to follow that business rules.
Right.
That makes sense, right, Coop?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. And so they're like, this is America. No one can tell us what to do. And guess what she was wearing the whole time? Guess what she was wearing, Coop?
Wait, you said punk rock. So she has to be somewhat of a rocker type.
But no. But the most, okay.
Wait, yes, is it a band shirt?
Where you're going.
Hold on. Is it a band shirt?
No. But you're going in the right direction. What will be, whatever she's saying, what would be the most hypocritical thing to be wearing? Talking about America, no one can tell us what to do.
Oh, hold on. I got it. She's wearing a Ramones shirt, or she's wearing, no, it's got to be something not American.
No punk rock shirt or anything like that.
But I'm guessing something that is opposing American culture.
Kinda.
Che Guevara shirt.
No, that'd be fucking hilarious though.
It would have made more sense.
It would make no sense. No, you know what she was wearing, Coop?
What?
She was wearing a Back the Blue shirt. Like support.
But that follows what I would assume. I should have guessed that.
But here's the thing. How are you gonna be like, no one can tell us what to do
when you're wearing a cop?
This is a state
cop shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is a state mandated thing. And you don't want to follow the quote unquote law, yet you have a fucking shirt saying back the law. Like, make up your fucking decision, lady.
Well, everyone's a hypocrite, though. No, I'm not defending her, though. Trust me, I'm not defending that person. But I see the hypocrisy everywhere. I see, like I was saying, like you'll see people wearing like fucking like Che Guevara shirts, and like they like obviously they don't support communism, so it's like okay, do you know who Che Guevara was? But anyway,
do you understand why he was killed? And
even if you want to say he's a freedom fighter, his politics don't probably line up with yours.
Exactly.
People don't fucking know history or anything. They just wear shit because it's like, oh, Rage Against the Machine wore it. Tom Morello wore it. Yeah, Tom Morello also is an Ivy League person, so he's not as ghetto as you fucking think he is. The guy went to Harvard, for God's sakes.
What was it? He put a tweet, like somebody like tweeted at him, and they're like, I love Rage Against the Machine when they didn't talk about their political views on Twitter. And they're like,
you mean before Twitter existed?
Yeah, I'm like, and Tom Hanks was like, I'm like, obviously you have never listened to a
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine lyric. I'm all,
Yeah.
but he's all, I guess in order to make a political, statement, and he goes on how like you should probably graduated with high honors from an Ivy League in political science. In this case, I went to Ivy League school, honored, graduated or
Right.
mastered in political science. And I'm like, yeah, you tell him, Tom.
Yeah, like
But like
everything
same thing, like,
about
bro,
that dude, like from the jump. But anyway, yeah, no,
yeah,
that's what I mean. There's so many people that
from
like
the guitar,
they want to fit a mold, Like that lady wanted to
yeah,
fit the mold of, and like some of her ideals I don't disagree with. Like I
yeah,
disagree with her being cunty and like wanting to go into a place even though she knows the rules and could have just not gone in or had her friends order for her.
yeah,
There's so many ways to
exactly.
avoid that. Um Then you also think to yourself, because we're normal, semi-normal human beings, we're like, why put a target on your back? They want the target on their back.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really pissed me off is like she was saying this not because nobody asked her. She was just really like
She was already on
starting
her
to pick a
soapbox.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just wanting to start a fight. I'm like, dude, no one fucking asked you. Like, and is it
Yeah.
really that hard to go inside for 5 minutes or your fucking burrito and then go outside and wear a fucking mask? Is it really that hard?
Yeah, and who are you fighting for? I mean, like, it'd be different if like an old lady was in there and they're maybe, and even then, send the old bat outside. I mean, like, if you don't want to wear it, look, I don't believe masks are helping us that much. But if you feel they are, go ahead and do it. I follow the rules. I wear them. I don't think it's preventing people from getting sick. Um, I think people are retarded, and I'll tell you why, because they're still not being clean. They're still not washing their hands. Even if you're saying you're vaccinated, she now has this idea that, I mean, I am jumping to conclusions. I wasn't there, but I'm assuming she has this idea that I did my part. I can be a pig now and not get sick and not get other people sick.
Exactly.
And even though I don't agree with the mandates, I don't agree with them forcing shit on people, it's like, you got to at least be somewhat consistent with your information. Like, it doesn't make any sense to just be like, oh, I did my part. Fuck it. Now I can just go back to being a pig. Like, no. Like, I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? It's like, fight the power, but be like smart about fighting the power. Be like strategic, not at a fucking cafe.
And here's the thing, like, the whole foundation of the United States and capitalism and everything is that, or just the principle of us, individual rights and stuff, is that you do what's best for yourself. There's individualism, yes,
Yeah.
but out of your own kindness, out of your own good faith, out of your own American values, oh shit, you have to go on and help your fellow neighbor. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, think of your fellow neighbor and build like mini communities within yourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody's just all about individualism and none of like thinking of the other. And you said it best, like, okay, I did my part. Fuck it. I'm going to like fucking not wash my hands ever again and just cough openly to everybody. I'm like, no, dude, it's just be decent. And Coop, I come, obviously, I come from the Mexican American community, Latinx for my PC people.
Fuck you.
I come from the I come from the Mexican American community, as you know, and I'm always outspoken about like some sort of like rights for immigrants, especially like the dreamers, and stuff. I'm always like supporting and like wanting a clear path for these kids who were basically brought to the United States when without any choice, and all they know is America. That's a different story though. But this one time, one of my friends was like, "Oh well, Danny, what do you care? Your parents are citizens already. You're born here. Like, why do you care? Like, what does it bother you?" And I'm like, that's not the point. Like, this is why we can't get shit done, because people feel like, oh, I took care of myself. I don't have to worry about anybody else. I'm like, but I still have family members who are being affected by these laws and fear of, all this stuff. So I'm just like, that's just a bad attitude. Like the bad attitude, like, well, I already took care of myself. Fuck everybody else. And that's a bad attitude, dude.
I agree.
My opinion.
I agree, because I think even though I may not agree with things completely, I agree with the methodology of, like, we can't just say like, oh, it was broken when I had it, so keep it broken. I don't agree with that
Yeah.
mindset.
No.
But to go against what you said a little bit earlier, you said
Okay.
the individualism being an issue. I disagree. I think even though they stand out more, it
Mm-hmm.
is a very much a minority. Thankfully, Karens, like, they are a minority.
Yeah.
Like, there's more
Yeah.
than what we want to deal with, but luckily those people are few and far between. At least in my own personal experiences. But like, I think the issue isn't that people are obsessing and being selfish. I think the issue is that people are actually uneducated, not trying to understand things, and are just following the leader. I think that's the issue. I think people are so
Yeah.
blind for a solution and they're scared that now they don't even need logic or science, and they're just like, fuck it. I'm going to believe whatever the politicians tell me to do, and this is the world we live in. And you know what?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think I'm still an individual. I still have a right to know the whole story before I can assess or make a judgment call, which we're never getting anymore. As any citizen, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, a unicorn, whatever the fuck, Grandmaster, Flash, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. Like, dude, no matter what you are, how fucking politically free or ignorant you are, like, we need to be more free thinking. Like, we need to ask questions. We need to question authority. You think about Rage
Mhm.
Against the Machine. What was their main image? Their
It was
main point of
always,
view was to always question authority, right? Because the
yeah,
authority figures were corrupt. Now,
break the cycle. Also,
yeah,
I feel like
not
that's
just a
their,
stained record, but
yeah, it's just break
that's
the
what I mean.
cycle. Also,
And the problem with that is, okay, you could say the argument that Rage, those guys are in their 50s, 40s, and 50s, and the whole fight the power thing is hard to do when you develop success and you're a businessman now, and you're 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 thriving in the system you hated. So
yeah,
I understand how it could be probably maybe more hypocritical for them to think like we can't be the 92 version when we're much
yeah,
older. We're obviously reaping the success of capitalism that we hate so much.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and it's like I maybe that's where they're standing, but like it does kind of bother me when they are like there's so many like it's that classic meme. It's like fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, and now it's fuck you, I'll do what you tell me. It
yeah,
bugs me. It's like when did it become hip to fucking trust the government? Like
yeah,
all growing up in the 90s, it was fuck the government. The government put crack in the hood. The government fucking got black people addicted to crack cocaine and started a war on drugs that isn't real,
drugs.
right?
Yeah,
And we know that's bullshit, and we know that's true. Like the whole war on terror was bullshit. I heard they could
yeah,
have ended that super early, but George Bush and all his homies wanted to fucking make money, and they did.
of course.
250,000 people died because of that shit. Anyway, like I'm saying, it happens on both sides, Republican and Democrat, throughout history.
Yeah,
So my
absolutely,
issue is,
absolutely.
why are we so trusting though? Why do we
Yeah,
all of a sudden want to believe all this stuff? The same people are pulling the strings, man. So it's like that's my issue. I'm like, who do I trust? The people that we've gone our whole lives knowing are liars, and now we're like, oh well, let's do it just because we're all scared. That's how I
and you know
feel.
what sucks, dude, is that I feel like our generation, like our group age and everybody after us, we feel so hopeless to break the cycle. We feel so hopeless to like to do anything about it. I was
Yeah.
reading I had a meeting with my history department. I'm not sure if it was this week or last week. Might have been this week. No, it was last week actually. Shit, sorry.
No, you're
It
good.
was last Friday, and and I was reading an article about education, blah blah blah, and it was basically like a call to arm, like we need to end ending racism starts at in the school, and it's now, it was like this call to action, now or never, and and this responsibility that falls into like the teachers, and I'm like, I don't feel like I agree with that.
Nope.
I'm like, I'm first off, I'm teaching. Sure, I teach ethnic studies, so of course, my whole, you know, curriculum is more inclusive and anti-racism, anti whatever you want to, whatever isms you want to throw in there. But I'm like, yeah, I can give my students a sense of empowerment. I can give them a sense of like wanting to make a change. But then you go into the outside world and you see how difficult it is. Like you see how difficult it is to make change, and it discourages you. So I'm like, okay, you want to fucking you want to like reform education? It doesn't start in the classroom. It starts from the top. It has to stop from the any sort
home.
of change that you want to happen. It needs to start from the top. If you want to, a government revolution or a change of government, you have to start from the top, dude. And I feel like, by all means, I am not backing up Donald Trump. I'm not. I don't like the guy. I don't like him personally and his politics or anything like that. Just straight up. But I think what he did was that he gave a sense of hope to all these people that we're tired of the same shit over and over. So he fucking hired a businessman, but whatever. And it gave him a change. Like, this is revolution. Some change is going to start from the top, and finally we're going to see some changes. But they obviously didn't happen.
They all do that. Obama's slogan was change after Bush.
Yeah,
that's
hope,
my point.
Was it hope or change? Yeah,
it was both.
Yeah,
I think it was hope originally, and then it was change. So, what my point is, dude, is thank you for bringing that up. Is every fucking 4 to 8 years we live through the same thing. So more stupidity. I don't know, when are people gonna wake the fuck up, dude? I'm sick of listening to people bitch. I got a couple more political things, then I'm done. Okay. I also hate how they're fucking spinning this fucking recall into this Republican fucking. I don't understand how it's a Republican recall. I saw commercials on TV saying it's a Republican recall. I'm like, oh, really? Because I'm going to say this. Gavin Newsom, as a human being, sucks. So if we think someone sucks at their fucking job, yeah, we should recall them. Does it make me a Republican for not wanting this dickhead in office that's a trust fund baby that's thrived on the teat of our tax money since he was a kid? And I mean, he's political mob, dude. Him, Cuomo, all these scumbags.
Yeah.
Can you believe Cuomo said, I'm not perverted, I'm Italian?
Is that real? Because
I'm pretty sure it's fucking real. Because I don't think that many people could be talking about it and not be getting fucking cease and desist from lawyers, fucking defamation of character. That's a huge legal thing you could do if it's wrong. And I've seen so many people say it. I've seen shirts.
Because there's the thing.
It shouldn't be real.
I saw the screenshot, but with nowadays with the internet, you can't be 100% real. I have so you cannot be 100%. You never should be 100% sure with the internet. So I was like,
I mean, the internet was a main tool to fucking destroy everybody. I mean, everything that everyone hates about Trump was all internet. Yeah. So that's my other point, is why is it okay for Republicans or conservatives to get roasted on TV or the internet? And I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just pointing out the annoying ass political bias in this country. Yeah. Is we think that liberals and Democrats are trying to help us, and I don't agree with that.
No.
I think you got to look at the individual and see what they want to do and see what they stand for, and stop doing this whole team thing. You're not on a fucking team. You don't play a fucking position. You're just a person who votes. You're not on a fucking team. Stop doing that team shit.
And I think you have to separate the person from the politics sometimes.
100%.
So I thought Cuomo was doing a good job. I'm not in New York, but I thought he was doing okay in New York. The moment these allegations came out, and after it looked like it was a more serious thing, I was like, okay, this guy's a piece of shit. Yeah, he needs to resign.
Dude, he was not doing a good job. He's been under worse scrutiny than Newsom.
Yeah, since day one, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of that. Comedian turned politician. I think he was a senator from Minnesota. Was it Al Franklin? He froze over me, Coop.
Al Franken. I'm not sure. Oh, it's being weird.
No.
Damn it.
Okay, there you are. You're back now. No, you're back. You're back.
Cool.
Oh God, what was that? He's a comedian politician, or he was a comedian writer. Turned politician, something Frank. Oh shit.
Well, either way, what did he say?
Whatever. Like there was a picture of him, like I guess he was doing like support our troops or something kind of
Right.
thing in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And a picture surfaced of him like one of his like colleagues or something was asleep, wearing a vest and everything, like military wise, and she was asleep. And there's a picture of him like groping her boob over her vest and stuff. So it's not really like he's feeling anything, but the action is there, and he resigned right away. And same thing, I'm like, okay, I like this guy as a politician, but as a human, yeah, you fucked up, you did a mistake, and he resigned. And I think that's what a lot of these politicians need to do. Like, you fucked up, you ruin your image. You should fucking.
Let me tell you why they resigned. They also protect themselves because Cuomo, if he resigns, it's gonna be a little harder for him to be investigated on other things that they think he's done. So this whole him resigning is not an act of humanity. It is not an act of him being an adult. Out. It's not even that. He's protecting himself. He's doing this so he can't be fucking blamed for the other shit that he's done that's fucked up. Which, I mean, he's responsible for a lot of people dying in New York, man. He really is. He sent a lot of fucking sick people to elderly homes, and it killed a lot of fucking people. And whether or not people want to say it's real, I'd say it's fucking real. If you don't want to fucking have sick people near your elderly family, why would you want that in any other case? That's the real shit that he's trying to avoid is that. And he's been in trouble with that since before the lockdown. So the people in New York are sick of him. It doesn't matter what race or political thing you line up with. Those people are fucking over that guy. And it's annoying because the media perpetuates this image of this guy as if, like, because his brother's a CNN person, he's trustworthy. It's like, it doesn't matter, man. The news is corrupt. People hate Fox News. You can't like CNN then, because guess what? There's a yin yang. It's called good and evil. And even if you believe one is good, they still have to do shit to keep the other one in business. So they're, I don't know, man. I don't trust our fucking news. It sucks because where do we get our information? How do we, it's hard to find something that we can digest that doesn't feel like it's trying to get us on team this or team red or team blue. It's always this divisive tool. None of us are invoking conversation anymore about politics. We're like, right now, us having this conversation is kind of edgy. And politics can be, and I think most people are like, politics and religion are a big no-no, and I understand why. But politics shouldn't be. Religion should be. Politics, I don't feel are as sacred as people make them out to be. I think we put this giant pedestal, and it fucks up what it should be doing, which is helping us. We're supposed to be conversing about problems, figuring things out, then voting on it. That's what we do. We don't do that anymore.
Here's the thing, though, Coop. It's not that people don't talk about it. It's that people don't listen. Right. They don't try to understand the other side. They don't try to practice empathy. They're not trying to understand each other. Because, yes, we can have conversations about it, but how many people actually listen, and, who actually is listening and trying to understand the other side or the other person's opinion, rather than, oh, you're wrong, let me start doing a shout war against you and try to change your mind, and which is never gonna work out.
But I see that. But I see that with vaccination. I see that with people opposing vaccines. By the way, the people that are opposing the vaccine, everything I've seen, not pushy about it. Not pushy at all. They're just like, don't push me. But what I see from other people, friends and family on my own, is a lot of toxic attitude towards people that, okay, look, if you believe different than someone who says, I don't believe in getting vaccinated because I don't trust it, like, it shouldn't feel like a personal attack that person doesn't want to get vaccinated. And I feel like all it is a fucking witch hunt now. It's like, oh, it's almost the new Me Too movement. It's like, if you're not on this side, then you're a selfish piece of shit that wants to kill people. Yeah. And I just think that's an extreme, like, there's no reason to paint that picture. And the media and everything has been pushing us in that direction. Like everything we see is what famous people think about unvaccinated people or opinions on this and opinions on that. And it's like all that is trying to force us into being like, do it or we're going to... I mean, it's turning shit into craziness, man. It's people are ratting on each other now. Like, what happened to snitches get stitches, dude?
And at the end of the day, who the fuck cares about celebrities giving their fucking opinion?
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, I don't fucking care. But here's the thing,
100%.
Just to wrap this up.
Yeah.
And just to move along, because we don't want to do this political thing all day. Sorry guys for listening about ranting. But the thing is, like, I don't care if you're a pro or anti vaccination person. I'm pro. I got vaccinated. I highly encourage people to get it, but that's just me. That's just my thing. At the end of the day, I don't care if you're vaccinated or not. Be responsible. I think that was the whole purpose of the story, is just be responsible. And Coop, from I understand, you are pretty responsible when it comes to, you know, wearing the mask, staying at home if you're feeling kind of sick, getting tested. You know, like, dude, when last week when you were talking about a story and that you called all your family members at the party, that's the responsible thing to do. So at the end of the day, I feel like, don't ever push your fucking beliefs on others, because that's just why. Let the other person come up with that decision. The only thing you can do is put your information out there, and hopefully the other person would, you know, come to that decision or create a decision based on their own interests, but on their own information. And at the end of the day, just be responsible about it, dude. That's the main thing. Like, there is I think we can both agree that there is some sort of disease floating around somewhere over here or over there.
Like you're a weatherman.
And just be responsible. That's all we ask. Just be responsible. So, hey, you know, if you're gonna go to a liquor store to buy yourself a little 6-pack, just wear a mask. Just wear a mask. 2 minutes in the mask is not gonna fucking kill you. Doctors go on and do operations for like fucking 19 hours with it. Come on.
And if you don't want to do the mask thing, then have them delivered to your house. I mean, I'm not saying don't fight the man, but choose your battles. I mean, come on. That cafe is not fucking gonna, like, exactly, like, to go with what you're saying, because I would have been on your side anyway. But I hate crazy loud people in public. I'm like, ugh, because you're just like, how's this gonna go? Is this person gonna kill everyone here? Like, that's the first thing that pops in my head. I'm like, all right, shooting. So, bomb's gonna go off. She's got a burrito chest bomb vest. I don't know, but it's like,
there's a car I'm gonna hide behind. Safety. You're like, all right, rally points over there.
Parts of me also, I'm like, and she could have been legit. Like, maybe she was a complete legit back the blue person, but sometimes I'm like, is this real or is this person like? Because like, are you just dressing shit up to stir the pot? Like, I don't know. Like, because I feel like the real people that back the blue, maybe they have the stickers on their cars, but I don't think it's part of their daily, like, wardrobe. Like, I'm going to get a breakfast burrito and I don't want to wear a mask and I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear my shirt. It's like, dude. And then you should get punched in the back of the head for that reason.
And I'm going to tell you this, Scoop. I back the blue to a certain amount.
100%.
Certain place. Yeah. Okay. You know, I've been fucked with SJPD multiple times.
Right.
Coop, I got pulled over once in front of my house because I looked too young to be driving a certain car. Quote unquote. Motherfucker, I was early 20s, making what, 70K at Comcast. And you're telling me I look too young to be driving this type of car? Motherfucker. Yeah, whatever. I've been fucked with cops, but same time, I'm not gonna go around with fucking stickers of back to blue and, you know, they serve, you know, but I back to blue because I have family members who are police officers.
That's what I mean. I have exactly. Yeah. But you're being but see, even what you just did, you took a situation, you applied it to your personal life, and you made it a conclusive, like, ending belief that you're like, okay, look, it's crazy to be like, I back the blue, and it's also crazy to be like, defund everything, because I don't think it's ever as simple as one or two, right? So, there's always like, there has to be methods and ways to start things.
There has to be
getting
compromises.
Fixed. Yeah, always. And exactly, like, it's not as always simple as it's not like we treat everything like a video game. Like once it gets complicated, we're like, oh, new game. I don't want to deal with this. This is too problematic. Let's start over. It's like, no, but you can't do that in real life. Like, we made this situation, and I say we, but generationally, we've made this situation what it is today. Mm-hmm. And this is our shit heap. So we can either, work with it, and try and get rid of it and control it, or we could just keep adding to it. And I feel like a lot of us right now, we're just adding to the issues. We're doing what they want us to do, which is to fight. It's a great distraction for citizens to be at each other's throats and let the fucking wizard behind the curtain do whatever the fuck he wants while we're fighting with each other. They push for riots. They want us to riot, dude, because once we riot, they're going to close everything fucking down, and then we're going lockdown mode again. So, guys, peaceful protest, okay? There's ways to handle things, which isn't looting and breaking into buildings.
No.
I'm going off on a little tangent here, but the whole point of this was event / an update, and I had to sell my dashboard confessional tickets because the city of San Francisco indoor policy is you have to be vaccinated. I don't believe there's even a negative test option for indoor venues in the city of San Francisco, so I'm like, I'm not going to do it. So my options, though, but what did I do? I went on Ticketmaster. I sold my fucking tickets. I didn't go to Dashboard or complain online about it. Yeah. And I told Steph, I said, we can either go to the Catalyst or we can pick another concert. And that's what it is. It's like, does it annoy me that the city of but the city of San Francisco is going to do whatever the fuck it wants regardless. So I got to go somewhere else. Or, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the mature way to handle it. Like, I don't need to fucking show up there day of and start a fucking, because there's going to be those people. They're like, I bought these tickets and I'm not going to do that, And so it's like, don't be those people. You're not changing the world. But things are changing, like we mentioned last week. Live Nation also, I believe, for outdoor venues, it is a negative COVID test or a proof of vaccination. So we are kind of heading into the realm of policing whether or not we have it. See, I'm okay with the option of a negative test because that's allowing people that don't want to be vaccinated, but to still be responsible enough to say, look, I'm doing my part. I may not want to just jump in like what you guys want to do, but I'm showing you, I'm trying to practice safe measures here, give people an option. I don't like when they don't give us options. I feel, it's odd, dude. It's just creepy to be like, there's one way to do things in America. We call that racism if it's something else. So, I'm not saying
ism into it. Are you saying that Live Nation is racist?
No, maybe. Probably any corporation. Yeah, dude, for sure. Like, they don't put black people on their banner on their website to make people think they're like cool and hip. Oh yeah, they're probably racist.
Dude, I think it was so fucking funny that all these major corporations like fucking Audi and like T-Mobile and Ford and whatever, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as like it's Pride Month, everybody puts a fucking rainbow. Everybody's rainbow this, and we support inclusiveness and all this shit. When those motherfuckers have like headquarters like in countries that have like very strong anti-LGBTQ laws and shit,
or they're pumping all the water out of the village to fucking
yeah, exactly. We nice, stand for equality. I'm like, no, you don't, motherfuckers. No,
you stand for making money.
Yeah, and like, okay, so Hispanic Heritage Month starts next month in September.
Uh-huh.
or watch how many people are gonna put fucking.
Uh-huh.
Oh, watch out for the new commercials. You're gonna be seeing more brown people now, more people speaking with accents like I do. Because we support our Latinos brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And fuck you don't support shit. You support whoever's gonna give you money.
I ordered 3 tacos in solidarity.
I went to a Keys and I got 3 swirls to help the Latin community business.
Yeah, of course I drove home. So what?
By the way, a Keys is not Mexican food. The
Peruvian, right?
Is
it Peruvian?
I don't know, but you know what? It's fucking delicious.
Oh, it's great. And those swirls are amazing.
Those swirls, oh my god, those swirls. If you ever find yourself in a Keys and you look yourself in the swirl and you say, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try that one, and then I'm gonna try the third one later. No, you're not. You're gonna get 2, and you're gonna go home.
Do they still have a limit? It's 2, right?
I think it's 2 per transaction or 2 per customer. Per transaction.
Yeah. I think it's customer.
Yeah.
But I remember. Well, we have drunk friends, and I have drunk tendencies because who doesn't like to drink?
Yeah. I get myself a swirl. Maybe if I'm feeling a bit saucy, I'll get a second one. That's it.
Have you been
know my limit?
Have you been to the one on Lincoln?
Yeah, that's the one I like going to.
I haven't been to that one. I've only been to the one near Blossom Hill.
Okay, I've been to that one too. The one on Lincoln's a little bit smaller. But it has a pretty cool patio in the backyard. But again, it's freaking small.
I know, but Willow Glen's so nice though.
The one in Lincoln's a little bit bigger.
I mean Blossom Hill.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, the one in Blossom Hill. It's like Snail.
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's like kind of by Oak Ridge, right?
Yeah. I've been to that one before, and I've been to one on Lincoln. The food is decent. Nothing really to, brag about, but they're known for the swirls.
Yeah, the swirls. But that's exactly for Mexican Heritage Munch. Cheese. Maybe I can learn how to talk English, huh? For Mexican or Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah,
which you could call it the HH.
I like it.
HHM. Yeah, dude, it's like, it's just kind of appropriating, right? Like to a point, like
it's more insulting than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, like, oh, only gay people are cool for a month, and then let's go back to fucking throwing stones at them. Like,
no, my gay friends are cool every day of the year.
That's what I mean. But like you said, it's like, oh, Frito-Lay's got to put the rainbow chips out this month. Here we go. What are you doing, dude? I don't care.
What are you doing to support the LB to show that you're in solidarity with the LGBTQ community?
Harvey Milk fucking minute. I don't know. I'm done. This is enough. But
okay.
But yeah, like, but no, it's silly, but that's my point, guys. It's like we're watching the silliness, and we only believe when it's scare tactics. Don't fall into the fear. We can be responsible and not be scared senseless. Let's just be a little more, think a little more, man. Question shit. You're supposed to. Anything your parents taught you. Well, I don't even know if my parents taught me this, but I'm passing this down to my kids. And I tell them all the time, I said, you have every right to question any authority, including me or your mom's. And if you have a question about it, you can ask me and I'll tell you why. It is, and I'm not just going to be like, because I'm your father or because she's your mom. Like, no, I'll explain to you why this is right and why it's wrong, and I feel like that's not what we deal with. That's not what we do with our kids, with anything. We're just like, do what I say and don't ask why. And that, I came from that a little bit, and it doesn't work. It makes the kids want to do exactly what you tell them not to.
It's funny because I came from that same school, Don't question authority, compromise. And now that I'm older, I reflect on it. Well, one, both of our parents are Catholics. So, that maybe that has something to do with it. But I understand that my dad and my mom, they lived in Los Angeles, like in the late 70s, early 80s, where unfortunately, if you were brown, you're getting fucked with, you were being targeted, for anything, especially my dad. So, it's always been like, oh, don't draw attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be outspoken because you don't want the man to fuck you. And here we are still 30 years later, you're still getting fucked if you're brown. Or look a little bit different. Or if you're standing up and say fuck the police, you're gonna get fucked with because they don't like being challenged. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, and I mean, even I talked to Steph about how things were when she was younger because her parents are first gen citizens here as well,
Yeah.
and I totally know what you mean. Like I don't not firsthand, but I understand that because I feel like you come from a place where you're like, this isn't my home, and I don't want to like overstep and cause problems because it's sad that it's painted like that. Like Steph was telling me about a situation when they were younger, when they lived in the townhomes in San Jose, and of course, you can probably guess the race of her neighbors, but they her dad just got a sound system, like super happy, put it in, and they're watching movies, family movie night, and her fucking neighbors come over and just banging on the door, and they're like, you need to turn the sound down. I'm gonna call the police. And this is blah blah blah. And of course, her dad being, and it has nothing to do with their character. It's just being in that political situation.
Yeah.
He said he obliged, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. And and Steph said she's like she witnessed so much of that growing up. With her family being like feeling like they had to do what other people wanted them to do because they weren't American. But it's just like, fuck that. I even asked her, I said, man, I wish I was there. Like, I would have told that lady to go fuck herself. I would have been like, noise ordinances don't kick in until 10 p.m., bitch. Learn your fucking rules. But see, that's me. Like, I'm just a dickhead, and I like, fuck you. Like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. But, like, that's totally my attitude, and it's been that way probably forever. And, but no, I understand where you're coming from, and I defend that because it is easier for me to say all that because I'm not going to be judged quite the same. And that's I don't agree with that either. But I also think I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is, but I hate that shit. That is racism. It's bullshit. But
Well, you know what, Coop? You by saying that, you're an ally because I know you. I know if you were to see that now, if somebody were to say something to like down to talk down to your in-laws or any of your friends who have color, I seen you use your advantage, your if you will, or your privilege. There you go, that's the word I was looking for, to fight for those who voices have been oppressed. And that's what we need more of, dude. We need people to, don't, I'm going to go have tacos on fucking Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Brinco, which I fucking insulting, dude.
Yeah.
But
God,
like,
it's almost better to say build the wall.
Dude, it is, dude.
I'm serious. I know like hella vato fools that like, they would probably appreciate the honesty. I mean, they'll still beat your ass. But, like, there would be a little bit more of respect while they're beating your ass than rather you being this gentrified douchebag that wants to fucking appropriate everything. Go fuck yourself.
God, dude. No, but,
oh, this is just, I'm going to call this rant cast.
The rant cast today, dude. We're just getting everything that's building up in us and we're just releasing it to the world.
Part of mental health is letting things out.
That's true, but no, I know you speak out of it. I know you use that to your advantage, dude, and like that's what I feel like. That's what we need more. Again, it's not like, oh, I can't listen. Oh, how can anybody survive with this music, with this TV so damn loud? Instead of being like, oh,
maybe we
should never make noise. This is a once in a fucking like 3-year situation. Oh, let them.
No,
fuck them.
Nothing like being like, hey, it's afternoon time. Maybe we should take our overweight asses outside and go move around a little so our clots don't build up. I mean, it's always fat, bitchy people that excuse me,
So true.
how many Karens are fucking overweight? You know what this is? This is.
I'm not gonna answer that question. I'm not gonna answer that
I
question,
will.
but I know where we're going.
About 95% of them are not in good health standing. Like if you looked at them, you'd be like, you have heart disease. You love fried food. I love fried food, but they look like they live in it. And it's just.
They are fried food.
You gotta, I mean, dude, go outside. Like, to give you an, yesterday, perfect example. It was 103 degrees in Tracy. We could have stayed home, hid in the house with the AC, drove each other fucking nuts because being stuck in a house with 2 children is insane. Yeah. So, what did we do? We're both negative. First of all, I never tested positive. So, I got nothing but negative tests. Steph's tested negative like 5 days ago.
Yeah.
We decided if she's cleared from the doctor's note to return to work, she's negative, she doesn't have symptoms, we're good. So we went to Monterey. You know, it was 70 degrees. It was great. We took a nice day trip. And dude, it's like, yes, adapt, escape the heat. I don't need to get on, oh, I hate the sun. You know, go fuck yourself. And
yeah, go.
So we went to Casa de Fruta. We stopped there. We got some food. The kids played on the carousel. It was great. There's a little train there. It's awesome. Great pit stop. And then
wait, so you took the 5 all the way down to like the
156? Yeah, 152, and then yeah. Because I hate going through the bay if I'm gonna go to Monterey or Santa Cruz.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna go around.
Yeah, hell yeah, because you just avoid
like
so much traffic. I mean, you're gonna hit a little bit. Yeah. You're gonna get a little bit of traffic on the 152. Yeah, in the Hollister area.
Yeah. And everyone going to Gilroy.
Did you get on the 101 in Gilroy or via Hollister, or you just took the 150? Oh, you took the 156 all the way down to
all the way to Monterey. Yeah, which is a great drive. If you're not down there, it doesn't make sense. Like for you, it's kind of silly.
Yeah, I do 101.
Yeah, but like for me or anyone in the valley, it's great. You don't fuck cutting through 4 freeways in the bay. That's terrible. You know, on a Saturday, you're killing yourself. So,
by the way, no one outside the Bay Area or the South Bay knows what the fuck we're talking about right now, and it also shows how much how Californian we are. We're like, oh, you took the 156 to the 152, you know, oh, to the 5 north. Oh,
yeah,
so Californian of us.
Well, yes, it is, but I don't know, but you know, it's where we live, man. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
And
nature versus this is nature. But no, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. And then, you know, it was, by the way, they had a mask rule there. Everyone was wearing them. Of course, I took my mask off when I was like eating and like on the carousel. There was no one even else on the carousel. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'm not near anyone. Screw it. But you know, I followed the rules. You know exactly, and you know, you're doing your part. And then we went to Monterey, and there was way less masks. I hate when I go to a playground and I see kids wearing masks. I don't know. There's a part of me that dies inside because I'm like, that kid is having no fun. Anyway, but we get to, because I wanted to take my kids to Dennis the Menace Park. They've never been there before. It's a gem of the Bay Area. If you go to Monterey, the creator Dennis the Menace created this park at like, I think 1950 something. It's all pretty much still the same. There's a giant locomotive engine. There's that giant bridge. Have you ever been there?
This is in Monterey. I have not. I
mean, it's kind of like weird to go to if you don't have like you got a niece, so it's totally perfect idea for a nice fun date with your uncle.
Okay.
Dennis the Menace Park, she'd love it. But yeah, we took the kids there. We spent 2.5 hours at the park. They got their yayas out. It was 70-degree weather, dude. It's beautiful. Perfect. Better than 100 degrees. We got hella clam chowder, got some fucking fish and chips, and we drove back. It was great. But that's my point, is like we chose to do something that was different because the situation presented it to be that way. Like we could have bitched about it, you know, but that's not the right way to handle adversity. Like to overcome it, sometimes you got to do something different, and you got to just accept that you can't do exactly what you want to do. It's more important to adapt in a way, you know. and not cause problems for other people. But yeah.
Two things just to follow up on that one. First off, I love going to Monterey because it's always like fucking. It never goes above 75. Maybe you'll get 80. Maybe, but there's always like a fucking fog like right there.
I don't know if I don't know if it goes to. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if it goes that high
because there's always fog like right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like holy shit, here it comes. Oh shit, the fog's here. Which, if you guys ever experienced the fog rolling in, is such a fucking kick-ass like experience. Because it's like something from like a horror movie. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty scary.
Like legit, you see this big black cloud like in the ocean, or sometimes it's really cool here in San Jose. You see it like kind of crawling over the mountains, and you're just like, oh my god, it's the darkness, and it's the happening.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy, the darkness. And you see it roll in, and then it legit just it hits you, and it turns everything from like a bright ass 80 degrees to like 60, and like in a second, and it's dark, and it gets dark as hell, and you're like, holy shit, it's raining. Like, dude, experiencing the fog roll in, and then actually getting hit with the fog as it roll in, is quite a fucking experience.
So
dude.
refreshing.
And I highly suggest anybody to experience that, especially like if you're into like horror films and shit. But yeah, every time I go Monterey, you gotta take a sweater. And then I love like once you pass the aquarium, there's that kind of pathway. Are you
talking about 17? Are you talking about 17-mile drive?
Is that
Yeah.
I mean, the drive is gorgeous, but you can literally there's so much parking. You can just park on the street and just go for a walk against the coast, and it's just such a relaxing like film. But yeah, there's things you need to experience. These things you need to get off your couch, get off your TV, and go experience nature, experience some fresh air. See, even if it's like you have to value what's around you, because if it's gone forever, dude.
Also, we watch too much TV, man. Like, we're so sucked into what's going on. We get so detached from reality. And I feel like most people think they're in reality by watching the news and TV, but I feel like it's taking us out of it. So go out and live life, man. Seriously.
It's funny. Juan, my brother, you know the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh yeah, I want to go to like, oh, I would love to see the pyramids in Egypt. I love to do this and that. And then he kind of like checked himself like, dude, there's fucking badass pyramids in Mexico that I haven't even seen. Like, I need to go see these pyramids in Mexico, see Mexico, like different places in Mexico. It's like, and just very like embrace it. Cause we always like, of course, like television's like, oh yeah, Paris, the lover city. And I'm pretty sure it's a lovely city. Full of romance, but I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure there's places here in the United States. There's places here,
like
fucking Casa de Fruta can be romantic as you fill up your bag with dry fruit and eat it in the backyard or something in the back over there. It's romantic as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, it's subjective, right? Like we see like 6 things on TV, and we're like, oh, okay, the Eiffel Tower, the Giza pyramids, right? But like, yeah, dude, like you just said, like there's so much cool Central American stuff. I mean, dude, I don't know shit about Canada. Like, what about the Canadian wilderness? I mean, there's so many cool things, Montana. I want to go see.
Yeah. Me too.
So much like lush wilderness, even in the Americas.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. I think travel helps people understand people too. I think the reason we get so bitchy is because we don't immerse ourselves in culture enough. Like, you don't need to adopt it, but I think just educating yourself and seeing how other people live and what's acceptable culturally to them, it kind of gives you a little food for thought. It's like, oh, there's more than one way of doing this. Like, even with us and what I've been bitching about, it's like, this is American culture I'm bitching about. Now, if you go to another country, they might agree with some of it and they might not, because part of it might be like, well, we don't even have to deal with that. Or part of it's like, well, we don't even have the luxury. So, like, I also understand that, like, sometimes when I'm complaining about things, I'm like, okay, but like, what would, it's nice to be a little subjective. I don't want to always be like, well, they got it worse than us. You can always do that, right? That doesn't mean it's an excuse. But I think it's nice to just calm you down a little, because sometimes it's easy to get all bitched out and fuck the world. But you're like, all right, look, every country's got their issues. Some countries know they can't trust their government. At least I mean, I don't feel like we can trust ours, but at least there's a consensus, a large group of people that still have faith in our government. But like, if you go to like El Salvador, they don't trust their fucking government.
No, of course
so
not.
Like, can you imagine how they feel about a vaccine? They're like, oh, okay. They probably are fighting and wishing they had American vaccine. Because some of my wife's coworkers, she talks to them, and they're skeptical about it, because they're like, well, maybe your vaccine is better, but I can tell you right now, our government doesn't give a shit about us, so I don't trust them pushing it. And see, it's interesting to hear that, because you don't see or hear that on the news.
No.
You don't hear the skepticism ever, which is what bothers me. Why are they hiding the skepticism, Why, if you believe that something is real and works, then why like, it's the classic thing, right? Like, if you make a statement and it's true, you're never really that mad if people say, I don't agree with that. You're just kind of like, okay, they'll figure it out, right? That's the attitude. But why is it so like, oh, you don't agree with what I'm saying? Oh, hold on a minute. Well, you're part of that seems a little divisive and oddly suspicious to me. Like, if you got the facts and you know that the vaccine's going to work, then what do you care if people don't take it?
And that's one thing when I was in Mexico City 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. That's one thing they were talking about, like, yeah, no one really, they're like, man, Mexico, the government was so late to order like any shots. They were so like behind, and they were just barely getting through it. And people were just like, dude, like, so the ones they got, like, they're saying they got like the cheaper ones. They didn't get like the good ones. Like, of course, America got like America. Of course, the United States got like the higher end, the more efficient, more effective, quote unquote, shots. Where like Mexico, they're like, don't even know if it's gonna work, because it's like 60% or 70% or something. So like, well, I'm not even gonna try this. So yeah, it's become this thing where like, I don't even fucking trust my own those in power. That
did you hear Germany's issue?
No, what is it?
They said they found like that 9,000 vaccines were saline.
What do you mean? There's just like,
it was a placebo. Like,
oh shit.
So people are freaking out, because they're like, either you screwed up completely, or you're just like, why are you giving us things that aren't going to help us? Do you want us to die? Like, so once again, that's my point, is like, the world isn't just everything. Like, right now, our news is telling us that we're crazy. We need to do this. We need to do that. They're not telling us about anything that's going on in other countries. And I'm looking at all this stuff, and a lot of people are not as on board with things as much as our media is telling us that they are. And I just need more information, man. That's for me. Yeah. I need more information before I can make a judgment call for myself.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with, like, wanting that information, wanting to wait. There's nothing wrong with it. I feel like that's perfectly acceptable, because you're not just like, fuck that, I'm not gonna inject nothing in me. You're just like, hey, I don't know shit about this. I'm not 100% sure about it. I'm gonna wait off, maybe a year or two, and see what they're saying, and then once that point I get there, I'll make the decision that's best for me and my interest. Yeah,
but I'm not getting my kids vaccinated. If I gotta homeschool them, I'm gonna do it. I've already talked to Steph about it.
Cool.
I'll quit my fucking job and teach them myself. I don't give a shit.
No, don't do that.
I don't want to do it, but I'm willing to do that, because I don't think kids should have a choice. If I think I should have a choice, so should my children. I had booster shots as a kid for polio, shit that they fucking developed 10 years at least to develop through not just FDA approval. FDA does not mean it's safe either. I mean, how many commercials have we seen of FDA approved prescription medicine 20 years ago that is kidney failure, organ failure? There's so many settlements for it. So I even told Steph that. I said, FDA approval is just basically saying the government is federally backing this to the point now where if you can sue them, the company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that doesn't mean it's safe. You know, that doesn't make me feel better. Like, you know how many dead people can't sue? Like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want cancer if I can avoid it. I mean, Tyson chicken nuggets are probably definitely going to give me cancer. I mean, that's the thing that we need to understand is we're giving ourselves cancer anyway. But
yeah,
if I'm choosing to eat and give myself cancer, that's my choice. But I don't know. I'm scared. I don't want to push my kids into that. And I know some schools are kind of pushy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get all like crazy about that. I'm like, yeah, that's too much for me. Like the minute they're like, yeah, 12-year-olds can do it. I'm like, dude, no. Yeah, but like, I think it's a sore subject. I think a lot of people think that it would do good and giving it to their kids would help them. I think that they truly believe that. I would hope. I don't think anyone's doing it to fucking harm anyone or make a political point. I hope people are making the right choices. Like, I'm not being selfish, you know, like I believe that certain things are a certain way. I would love to be proven wrong. I'm waiting, you know, so it's just, I think we all want the same thing. It's just how we're, dealing with it or coming to that conclusion is what's different. You know, I think everyone wants the same thing. We all want safety. We all want peace of mind at the end of the day. And I want it too, man. I don't feel like we're getting it. I feel like we're getting a masked, no pun intended, a masked version of the truth. But we're never going to get the full truth, man. That's government power. I mean, even the best country in the world, there's no full transparency between them and their government. So, you know, we gotta just kind of. But I do, you know, I want change, man. I do, and I'm starting to become a little more like, what can I do to help this change? Like, what can I do to help educate people, or like, and the first thing I'm noticing is like, it's hard to want to play any political game in this country, because even though I want to recall our governor and like, I'll throw that out there. I also know that whoever replaces him probably isn't going to be that great either.
No.
But that doesn't mean that he deserves to keep his job. I don't agree with that. I feel like if I was doing a bad job and my boss thought I was doing poor at it, he has every right to tell me you're either going to step down or you're fired. Because that's the better good for the company. And I believe, and I feel like politics shouldn't be any different. But I also understand it's like one cockroach leaves and two pop up. So, I think whoever takes his place isn't going to change things right away and be able to do anything. But at least now we can get, hopefully, a platform for the next election and look into it a little deeper than just whether or not this person's a Democrat or a Republican. We need to really just look at what their policies are, who they're lined up with politically, like who's in their pocket, right? Who's going to help them make change? Like Stockton right now, and so much of the valley is dealing with, there's a huge Latin community out here, you know, huge Latino, Hispanic community. And they're not happy with the governor. There's a cool local news that they're fun because they poke sides. They poke both sides politically. They showcase Karens in Stockton. You know, like these white ladies that are trying to like invite like race battles, and like there was a teacher breaking up a fight in Stockton, a Stockton high school. And this lady posted on Twitter and made this huge deal showing the teacher in a position where it looked like she was striking the student. She wasn't. She was blocking a punch and trying to break the fight up because there was a full video released later. Problem is this Karen woman wanted to make it seem like this lady was striking black children in a high school. Why? Oh, God. Why do that? She was being a good teacher and trying to break up violence. Now, as a teacher, Danny, you know how that is a hard situation to be involved in. Like, if you see two students going at it, you could either do two things. You can report it and stand back, and I'm not saying either of these are wrong options, or you could intervene. Now, if you intervene, you know that there's a chance you could get in trouble, but you at that point are saying, I don't matter as much as trying to diffuse this altercation from becoming something that could be deadly. You know, and I feel like that's more of a commendable action than trying to say that this person is like invoking violence and like racism.
Yeah,
there's so many divisive things going out there, dude, and it's scary.
That's just meant to divide us more.
Exactly, but that's what they're perpetuating. You know, we need to think deeper and look into the whole situation. You know, it's like this was a clip posted or a picture. Where's the whole video? You know, and luckily people said that, and that came to light. But I feel like we're such a clip meme based informational society right now, and I'm guilty of it too. Even with my Cuomo thing, like you even asked, you're like, did he really say that? I actually didn't do any research to see whether he did say that. I should look into that. That was kind of a meme, you know? And I mean, I know that guy's a scumbag, but you're right. Like, did he actually say that? That's a valid point. I don't know. I should probably check in on that before I start throwing it out there. But that's my point, is we're such a clip-based, like ADD society now. It's
and you know what,
scary.
Dude? Oh my God. I think that's a great thing to bring up also, is that because the speed of information we get, we feel like our time is valuable. We want everything like now. Like I have a cousin who, like, every time we watch a movie, like if there's no action within like the first 5 minutes, they're like, oh, this is boring, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck do you expect them like to come out? You know, if you want an action movie, go watch an action movie. If you want freaking boom every like within the first 5 minutes. But I feel like we're so used to having all the information and not wanting to read the whole thing, because like, oh, I'm just gonna scroll up. And I've been a victim of this, you know, like, or I've been, you know, just read the headline. Sometimes what I do is I'll read the comments and see what the fuck is going on. But to be honest, sometimes you just have to read the article to understand what's fully going on.
Well, and like, then the article is only a biased perspective. Even if you trust the news source, it's biased because it's only one person's view of what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like you have to, and with that being said, also, especially I see this in high school, kids are they want instant gratification. Like, oh, I just turned this in 2 weeks late. How come my grade hasn't gone up? Like, fool, you turned it in 2 weeks late, you're going to have to wait a minimum of 2 weeks before I even start thinking about reading or grading it. Like, I tell my students, like, you turn in something, it's going to take me about 2 weeks to return it back. If you turn in things 2 weeks late, don't expect 2 weeks after you get it back. Now you're 4 weeks behind, because you have to give me the 2 week grace period for me to take to grade. And since you're turning your shit in 2 weeks late, I'm gonna get to it 2 weeks later also. So don't expect me to race up your grade tomorrow if you turn in something that I already returned to everybody else, you know, a week ago. Like, you're gonna have to wait a month now. That's just the way it works.
You know what you should call it? You should call it Mr. B's overdraft fee.
Yeah, no, it really should be.
It's kind of like how the bank penalizes you for fucking taking too much money out. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just instant gratification. It's like, oh, well, it's because you need to grade this, Mr. Braincourt, you know, so I can make grades to play whatever, because you need grades. I'm like, well, you should turn it in on time. If you knew you're going to play 2 weeks ago, you should turn it in 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, whatever. Just instant gratification.
You should be like, listen, with that attitude, you need to be like the next Jerry Rice, okay? Like, unless you're that good, you should study a little more. Because,
push yourself.
Because there's exceptions, of course. If you're a physical specimen at a college level and you play insanely well, you don't need good grades to get through. We know that.
We know this.
We know, like, schools like Alabama, you will get passed. You will get through your classes, dude, because you bring in so much money for that school. You know, and I mean that's just the realism of it. And everyone knows that shit. It's not anything new. But it's just but that's what I mean. It's like, you know, kids are so one-track minded though. Like they're that kid might not even be an athlete. You know, like I'm not saying it couldn't be, but I'm just saying it's funny how you view the world in high school or in school. And you're like, well, I'm going to be a fireman. I'm going to be an astronaut. Or I'm going to be a nurse. And then, dude, guess what? You might get to college and be like, fuck this. I don't even want to do this shit. This isn't who I am.
Here's the thing also, Coop, is that we need to start telling our kids that not going to college is okay too.
Trades are a very fucking important thing in life.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I shared this expression. I shared this before in several episodes. But our school is also the same thing now. Like my school, like the whole purpose of our school was to get kids into college. But now we're like, you know what? Maybe we won't have to get kids into college. Maybe we can, you know, as long as we give them the tools to make their best decision for post high school. And if it's going to college, so be it. If it's non-college route, that's cool too. Because we need to not discourage the future to invest on themselves, one or the other, you know. And like, yeah, I feel like we can tell our kids like, oh yeah, you know, you need to go to college to do this. But yeah, same thing. Like, what if your child, you know, kindergarten, you know, he or she had that dramatic moment where it, you know, had a bad teacher, had a bad experience, and just doesn't want to do school, period. Like, that's just that children's nature. And if, you know, and it's like, you know what, fuck, I hate high school. Why the fuck would I want to go another 4 years post high school, you know, to do a job, you know, and get so much money, like, or like be so much in debt? Like, I'd rather just go work, you know, at a trade. I'd rather just go work as a mechanic assistant and learn from my mechanic.
No, 100%. And see, and to kind of go back with my kid thing too, is like, man, I don't want to homeschool my kids because I mean, if I have to, that's literally like my last straw. But like, I understand the social implications of homeschooling. Like, kids need to be around other kids. Kids need to be like socialized and like all that. So like, if I am going to do that, I'm going to have to like go out of my way to make sure I take my kid and get them out there and have play dates, because it's like, you know how weird kids are? You know what I'm talking about. You know those creepy ass kids that grow into creepy ass adults because they were homeschooled, you know,
or too protected.
Tristan doesn't like to share, okay? So he's home now. Yeah, your fucking kid's going to be the next fucking, you know, never mind. But like, you know, I don't want my kid to be a weirdo, dude. Like, or if he is, let him do that on his own. I don't want it to be because of what I did. So, you know, that's just where I am. I agree. You need diversity. I mean, that's a huge thing of me and Steph talk about all the time. We're like, even if we pack up and move, like, we don't want just one or two races where we go. Like, you know, we want
you need to be.
We love the diversity of California, and it's just so hard to beat.
You have to be diverse in order to accept, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, to be to like, remember what I was saying about culturally understanding other, like, traveling, and like, if you're not exposed to culture, it's going to feel foreign. It's going to feel like something you don't want, you know, and that's why we need to educate people. It's like, oh, look, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
The classic thing that who skins cats, but you know, it's an example, you know, like there's
Psycho.
You know, creepy.
Yeah. Stranger danger.
Yeah, dude, this white guy skins cats. Not surprising. No, but you know, there's more than one way to do something, and like you just said, like, success isn't just based on institutions like college. Success is based on how hard you work and what you choose to learn and how you apply that, you know?
And just being happy in what you're doing.
100%, dude. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're obviously not going to put forth the effort to be the best. And you're not getting the most out of it, you know? You're really not.
Yeah.
Like, you love teaching. If you didn't love teaching, you'd be a shitty teacher.
Oh, absolutely. And I probably wouldn't even be a job. I wouldn't even have a job because my they'll be like, you know what, you're not getting what you're doing. You're not doing anything to grow as a teacher. You're not taking advice. You're not coachable. So therefore, we
Right.
need to let you go. And I think that's what people
Exactly.
need to understand, that you cannot go into a situation thinking that you know everything. I mean, I'm going into my 8th or 9th year teaching.
Uh-huh.
I still feel like it's my first year that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's
But
good though,
that's just
because
who I
that
am.
means you care.
Yeah.
You care about what you're doing and what you're putting out there. I think but see, that's important. I feel like there's a lot of good teachers that have that mindset. Have you worked with, I know you can't name names. I don't want you to do that. But like,
Mm-hmm.
not even current, because I don't even want to get you in trouble. But in your working experience professionally, have you come
Mm-hmm.
across teachers that are just checked out and
Yeah.
not old,
Yeah.
and not old, by the way?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely checked out. And I also have worked with coworkers who are so set on their ways.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a coworker, dude. She she was so set on her ways that she thought this is the only right way to go about it.
Right.
Like when it came to anything. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Let me that works for you, good. But let me work my way. And she was just so threatened by me that she made like my time at that school a living hell.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, because I wasn't teaching how she liked to teach. And I'm like, that's cool. It works for you,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people are so set on that they were not able to succeed when, so this teacher was old school,
Yeah.
you know, textbook, pen and paper, take notes, fucking a million handouts, unnecessary handouts.
I
also.
remember those. Yeah.
And I'm like, and all my shit was online. I'm like, okay, join my Google Classroom. Here's everything. Here's a digital copy. Homework, everything was done online. I obviously everything was made, by hand. Almost so everything's online.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just so threatened by it.
Well,
So
exactly.
threatened. Like, oh, Daniel, how are you making sure these students are reading? Like, they have their fucking PowerPoint right there. Like, oh, but they need an actual book. I'm like, okay, well, first off, I don't like this textbook, therefore I'm not going to use it. And I was just bringing in my own resources over the situation,
Right.
because I just didn't like I looked at the United States history textbook. I opened it up and I went to the World War II section, and it did not bring up the suit riots of LA.
Uh-huh.
During World War II. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to use this book. Fucking 95% of my students are Latinx. And I'm not going to talk about the Latin, like their experience, like that community experience here in the United States, being racially attacked during World War II because they were, by jacked up sailors, because it didn't fit the agenda of the book. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking use that then. I'm like, I'm doing a disservice if I'm not teaching the whole truth. And of course, you're never going to teach the whole truth, but
You should try. Yeah, exactly. Try and have the goal to do as much of it as you can.
yeah. And because of that, like, this teacher was just so threatened by me. Me and my life, I live in hell. Like, try to get me fired so many times. Like, I found out later that this teacher went to like the administrator's like, oh yeah, you need to tell Daniel he needs to start doing this and that, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, why? Because one teacher, I'm like, why don't you tell that teacher he needs to do more like me?
So
I'm like,
do you see the metaphor though? That is that situation.
yeah,
It totally is the same as what we're dealing with now. It's like,
yeah,
that lady is the masses of people that want us to conform and do their way of doing things. And you're like,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
I have my way of doing things. But instead of her saying, oh, interesting, maybe I could learn more about your way and I can incorporate it into my style. Or I could even just do this and say, oil and water, you stay over there, I stay over here. We don't need to come together. And yeah, we're just coworkers. There's two ways to deal with that. And what did she do? She wanted to cancel you. I mean, it's total fascism, dude. It's like, agree with me or die. It's like, God, man, there's got to be more options here. We are all individuals, you know?
You know what was so fucking funny though, dude, is that she was one of those teachers. She was a Trump supporter, or she is a Trump supporter, you know, and she's like, oh, you know, I guess I'm just like, when she goes, she told me like, oh, I guess I'm more of a radical politician than you, of a more traditional route. I'm like, really, dude? Because you're freaking out because I don't use the textbook. I'm like, that's pretty more traditional than me, quote unquote, being radical. She's like, well, that's different. I'm like, how is it?
Yeah.
Political views. And then,
it's because I don't agree with you.
Yeah, therefore you're radical. And
exactly.
Because I'm doing a little bit, yeah. And what's the other thing she once did, dude? That it was kind of like, who the fuck do you think you're? It's just, yeah. Like, she would ask my students like, oh, how's Bettencourt? Is he? How's his teacher?
That's
do you
like
guys
collusion. That's creepy.
Yeah, and she was telling me like, oh, you know, Antifa's so evil. Antifa this, Antifa that. I'm like, but you understand you're being fascist right now. Like,
that's what I mean.
Is my way or the other way?
She's right. Antifa is shit, but so is she, because like you just said, you're being the same as what they are. Like, you're trying to remove things instead of trying to figure out the solution.
Yeah.
But that's no different than, it's like, abolishing isn't always a good thing. Yeah, abolishing slavery, good thing.
Yeah.
But abolish should be like almost like a last line of defense, right? Or for something so terrible that you need to just say, let's burn this to the ground and rebuild it. That can't be our attitude on every challenge we face in this world.
No.
You know, it's too radically insane because it doesn't fit either person. It just supports the chaos that is violence and us never reaching an understanding with each other as human beings. You know what I mean?
It's not sufficient. It's not sufficient. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, sustainable.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
But that's what I mean, dude. It's like whether you're supporting Trump or whether you're supporting Biden or whether you're supporting Ralph Nader or some independent, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you're supporting. Yeah, it doesn't matter who you're supporting. It matters who you are, right? What morals and ethics you enforce. That's what we should be judging each other on, not whether you wear a blue tie or I wear a red tie.
Mm-hmm.
We need to disagree. And that's what builds stronger communities. That's what builds stronger bonds with people, because we can talk, we can figure things out. If we all agree with each other, or if you surround yourself with people that only agree with you, you're just blowing each other. It's just a circle.
You're never going to grow, dude.
Never going to grow, dude. But that's why that's why, as much of a lunatic as I am, I love having friends that think different, because it gives me perspective, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like that's what, I mean, of course I said this already, and that's what we're lacking. Understanding the different perspectives, understanding that there's more than one solution to a problem.
Uh-huh.
And like you said, dude, I mean, the whole principle of this episode is basically don't enforce your ideas on me.
Yeah.
Just like I don't enforce my ideas on anybody else. Dude.
You can invite people to learn, but don't force them to learn.
Exactly. No. Or don't think like this is the only way. And I mean, now I discovered, now that I left out of school fucking 4 or 5 years later, that, it was mostly because she was threatened by me. You know, here's this 100%. new teacher, younger, brown, having this, passion about social justice and, all this stuff. She was like, oh shit, this guy he's going to come from my position and I'm going to have to listen to this person now. Or, she felt threatened that I was going to take her position or climb the fucking work ladder, which is not, I don't fucking want to, for me, climbing the work ladder, it just means more responsibilities that I don't want.
No. And I feel like we all should have the same opportunity, right? So The thing with her is it seemed also like, I'm not defending her ignorance, but I'm adding to it because I feel like not only was she like obsessing about you, she was also, I think, obsessing about her being pushed out because she doesn't want to adapt. And when you have the mindset of this is where I am and this is where I stand, then live that and understand you will be flushed out. Because every generation of teacher has to go through a point where they have to either accept the change that is happening with technology, or get rolled over by it. I mean, it's just there's no other way to do it. Like you can either get involved and help learn, like what she should have done, and taken, hey, Betancourt, maybe we could work together and you could help me learn this. Not saying you would want to do that, but that would have been a nicer approach than being like, hey, what's he saying to you, kids? By the way, I'm sure your fucking kids played along with it and probably went back to you and were like, yo, by the way, she's asking about you.
Oh, absolutely. Within the minute.
Because she's not cool. No one's going to back her up. So it's like, not only she's totally socially unaware to the fact that she's not hip, so the kids aren't going to narc to her.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I did? I'm like, cool, thanks for telling me. Now go ahead and tell admin.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll tell admin so they can go ahead and talk to her.
Because that's hostile, for sure.
Two things, dude. Number one, that's the whole, we always talk about Egypt, the Egyptian empire and shit. And yeah, they were a civilization for thousands of years. But the reason that civilization fell apart is because it failed to adapt, so it fell apart. They were so set on their own ways that was their downfall. Same thing with Rome. Second, this one time we were having an argument, and she's like, how come you should do hard? She's like, you should do hard copies of your worksheets. I'm like, what for? I have everything on my Google Drive.
So she could look it up probably.
I'm like, why would I want to like have every single copy of like every single worksheet or anything I ever use in a fucking file cabinet?
Yeah.
And she's like, I have this. This is why we have Google Drive. It's there digitally. If I need it, I make a copy. I make a print, and that's it. And she's like, well, what if you change jobs? You can't take your computer with you. I'm like, no, this is why it's in my drive. And this is why I have it backed up on my HD, on my portable external hard drive.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what, Dan, you can't really trust these machines to satellites. Cause what happened, let's say tomorrow, all the satellites completely fall down and you don't have access to the internet. I'm on,
then,
dude.
Yeah.
I'm on, dude. If the satellites collapse and no one have access to their Google Drives, a fucking worksheet is the last of my fucking concerns.
Yeah.
This whole world is going to shit. Yeah. You think I'm going to give a fuck? Oh my God, how am I going to print out this worksheet for today?
She will.
The fucking world is falling apart. What the fuck do I care for?
The building's burning down. And she's I got to get these handouts copied. No, but yeah, like, dude, that's what I was just going to say. I'm like, if the power grid's down, let's restore that, and then we'll get to your handouts. Like, you can take your escalated issue and bring it down a little bit if the satellites fall. Like you just said, it's like World War III's happening. Fuck your handouts. Fuck your rubric. Bury your head in the sand. It's time.
Dude, trust me. If I wake up tomorrow and no one has communications with nobody, school, my work is the last thing I'm fucking thinking of, dude. Like,
because you're a logical human being that doesn't live in their own asshole.
And now I'm thinking about it, dude. I'm like, I should tell her, like, well, what happens if tomorrow this building gets on fire? Like, what's your backup then? Like,
what, use your fucking handouts to pad it out.
Like, what, you're gonna fucking like carry your freaking the file cabinet with all 50 million?
She's got it on her back. Have you seen that video of the fools that carry the water, the 45-pound water jug? She's got like file cabinets on her back, and she's just walking down the hallway. Fucking idiot! I trip her
in and out of her car and freaking home and back every day. I'm like, come on, dude, like. It was just like the whole time I was just like, God, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Mental health, bro.
And 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 I found out later that she was supposed to apologize to me for fucking like harassing me my first 2 years at that school.
Right.
It never happened. My principal, like, she never apologized. I was like, fuck no, she's not gonna apologize. Cause then that means that she needs to admit that she was wrong and she's never gonna do that. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm gone.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's almost. I think you know what though. You didn't want it. You didn't want. You didn't really want an apology. And
No.
I'm not saying. I'm not. Look, because at the end of the day, if she really felt sorry, she would have done one of those two things that we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, because sorry is more than just I'm sorry. Sorry is like, you know what? Let's figure this out. And since she never even had that attitude, what good is an apology? You know?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day,
She would have just done that to keep her
like,
job or
yeah.
whatever.
It's not like you came up and were like, hey Daniel, that's an interesting thing you're doing. How can I use that? You know, how are you incorporating that? And like, oh, maybe I'll do that. And like at first, like the first couple of months or weeks that I was there, I would be like, oh hey, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna incorporate this into this unit or whatever. Here, just, oh, that's nice. I already pretty much have my unit already concrete, but I'll keep this for the future. Maybe I'm like, all right, what the fuck am I even sharing
Exactly.
information with you if you're just gonna like, oh, it's just fucking bullshit, dude.
Well, that's, you know, and adapt or die, and she clearly chose die. So, hey,
Yeah.
good luck with that.
So.
Enjoy your remaining years. You know, but like if you're that miserable, there's no helping you.
No.
So it's good. I'm happy that you obviously, you know, like it's better to be in a position that is like those people are going away and there's going to be new versions of them, but
yeah.
at least we know that the people in 20 years can be racist and understand Google Drive. I think that's an improvement. Yeah. At least be technologically ignorant.
Yeah.
Understand what a cloud is, and it's not just that shit that floats above your head when you shoot up. You know, I don't know, dude. People just need to like be a little more. I don't know, dude. Just educate yourself, man. Just care about information. We need to do that more. And I feel like you said too about how it starts at the top. I also feel like it starts at home. You know, the parent's job.
Yeah.
It's very important for a parent to educate their kids and teach them things. It's not just the teacher's job.
Stop passing the buck.
100%, man. We pass it way too fucking much. And pretty soon it's going to be passing the bit or passing the Ethereum. Who knows what it's going to be called. God, I probably just sounded like an old person with that reference. Okay, Grandpa, how's Coinbase for you?
Sure, sure, Grandpa. Yeah. So, by the way, crypto is doing great, but that's just me.
Crypto's doing good. The stocks are up again. The AMC stock is odd. It's hovering at 30 in the 30s. I still have it. If it goes up to 60 again, I'm selling. I don't care what people say. Oh, it's going to be 100. You know, and by the way, everyone with their stock information, don't listen to people. People will tell you what to do with investments for their own sick, selfish reasons, because if you choose not to sell, that just helps the people that have a lot of shares.
Yeah.
So don't just follow your friends or what Gary Vee says. Actually go on, look at trends because when you have an investment app, it'll show you how you can look up all time or months. Do the shit yourself. Read up a little bit. Because investing is not at all something that should be done in a trustworthy fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't trust anybody. Unless you got really cool illegal insider information, and then you definitely can't tell anyone about it.
Yeah,
make the investment and don't say shit.
Talk to Martha Stewart about that. She knows.
Yeah, but see,
what we're talking
that's
about.
what I mean. You go running your mouth with your linen towels at fucking Target with your line, and some of those knitter girls snitch, dude. Those knitting women, they're gossip queens.
I heard they're quite beasts.
But if she didn't go to jail, would her and Snoop Dogg have ever become friends?
I think they were friends before. It's not like they met in fucking jail, you freaking racist ass.
Hey, look, I may be a racist asshole, but I'm pretty sure they did not start canoodling until after she went to federal prison.
Perchance. We need a story about this.
I'm just saying, You know what I mean? And you know Snoop did not give two fucks about clean-ass record Martha Stewart. He liked, as soon as she was involved with embezzlement, he was like...
That's
Dude,
my
he got
girl.
so...
That's my homie
yeah,
right
exactly. He was so cool. He's like, oh, cool. White lady that got arrested. Cool.
there.
Let's milk this
This
angle.
is my kind of peeps.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, she wasn't cool before. She's still not cool. By the way, white collar crime, not cool.
No.
When has that ever been cool?
But by the way, because we are wrapping up,
Yeah.
I like how we came in here with an idea for an episode and then it turned to something completely different. But you know what? I'll allow it.
Yeah, and it's the second week in a row we've done it. So I'm starting to think this written episode is just trash, and I'm... We have subconsciously gone over this twice and been like, fuck you. So, no, we'll see. We'll get to it, maybe.
No,
I think,
I do.
Yeah.
The original plan, I do like it. I do like the 13.
Yeah, don't even mention it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it.
But yeah, no,
I think it's a good.
I think it is good too.
It's good. We'll get to it. Hopefully next week. You know what we have to do? We need to stop talking about our freaking weekly rants of people pissing us off and how this is. But you know what? We have to release it.
No, well, okay, so you're right. We need to limit it a little bit, but at the same time, this is what happens when you stay quiet. You get all pent up, and you got an hour and 55 minutes of nonsense. And you know what? We do this for you. We do this for everybody.
And we do it because we care.
We do it because we care. And you know what? It's offering insight, and part of mental health right now, whether you want to admit it or not, is political at this point. We're all dealing with politics that are changing our lives right now. This is a huge time, guys. We are part of history. Like, everyone says that generationally, but dude, we've been through 9/11. We've been through COVID. We've been through fucking just riots and all kinds of political change. We've been through political deaths with like George Floyd and all that stuff, whether you believe whether you believe it happened organically or it was a political agenda to change things. Either way, it's history.
It's history. Aftermath was fucking political.
So
no,
it's
absolutely
insane right now. So we kind of have to talk about it.
Yeah, we're seeing. I was telling this to my students. I'm like, dude, we just went through like a very historical time that no one knew what the hell to do. You know,
I mean, we still don't know what's going on.
We still don't know exactly. So it's crazy times we're living, and ignoring it will not change it. It will not go away if you just ignore it. And I think that's a great metaphor for mental wellness and whatever you want to call it. If you just ignore some things that your feelings, things that are really bothering you, it's not going to go away. It's just going to escalate more and more until it pours out. And that's when, shit hits the fan.
And it's nice to throw things out there and like understand that sometimes saying it out loud helps you either understand, hey, I agree with that more or I agree with it less.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, sometimes when you're talking about something, you feel so strong about it. But then you're like, oh, wow, I do come off as a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
So it is important to vocalize things because it gives you perspective and it helps get that shit out of your fucking head. And we can't be so bothered by these things. We got to be happier and we got to build better bonds with each other. And it shouldn't be so divisive. Don't buy into the hype, man. We don't need to agree to be cool with each other. We just need to be respectful and cool. Right. So,
yeah, I think
that's just,
I think you just nailed it. Don't have to agree with it, but you just have to understand the other person and find a meeting point.
Yeah. Which
could
be a breakfast burrito, even if you don't back the blue. Breakfast burritos are for everyone.
And if you don't like breakfast burritos, I don't think I can trust you.
No, I don't think so either. Also, with your breakfast burrito, before we leave, do you like beans in the breakfast burrito?
Wow. You know what? That's a fucking good question. Because yes, I do. But here's my thing.
Yeah.
I love, first off, I love refried beans rather than the whole beans.
Uh-huh.
I like refried. Yes, I think some beans in my breakfast burrito, yes. With like cheese, with like some cheese in there, yes. Rice, maybe not so much. I don't think I like rice in my breakfast
Well,
burrito.
you got the potato, so you don't really need it.
Yeah, and this place definitely does the potato, so they don't put no beans. They put potato, and then they have like chorizo and egg, or sausage, or bacon and egg, and stuff like that.
There's a place in San Leandro and also in
Mm-hmm.
Oakland, Los Pericos,
Los pericos,
does really,
the
really good
parrots.
breakfast burrito. That's what it means, the parrots.
Yeah, perico. Okay, I'm laughing. It has double meaning. So perico, first off, is a parrot.
Uh-huh.
But also in the streets of Mexico, in the streets, perico means a little snow action.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah,
Oh, shit. Fuck yeah. Cartel
yeah.
run taqueria, dude. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Yeah.
but they put that was the first time I had a breakfast burrito with beans in it. Comes standard. I've had breakfast burritos before. Maybe it's because I always go to these like Americanized versions, right?
Okay.
But it was a game changer. Having beans, it was a chorizo. Obviously, first of all, it's chorizo, refried beans, cheese, potatoes. Oh my god, my mouth's watering right now.
Cheesy, super cheesy.
Not too much though. I love super cheesy, but it wasn't super cheesy. It was like, I would say, a perfect amount of cheese.
Okay, was it Monterey Jack cheese?
Yeah, it was white cheese. It wasn't cheddar. Because I feel like that's an Americanized thing. I love me some sharp cheddar, dude. But if I want a burrito, it's got to be a little traditional. It's got to be somewhat traditional because it's just so much better.
The burrito spot I went to yesterday, they put American cheese.
Okay, that's weird. I love American cheese, and it might be really good in a burrito, but that is weird.
It's not bad though. It's not bad.
No, but that's what I mean. On a burger, American cheese is probably one of the best options.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, people want to get fancy, and look, I love a Gouda and a cheddar and all that, but look, sometimes good old-fashioned American cheese on a burger, you just can't beat it. You need that byproduct, man.
I will, if I see Monterey Jack pepper or peppermint.
Oh, pepper jack? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'll take some of that.
Agree. But do you know what else is delicious? White American. And that's not just because I'm a racist pig. It's because if you ever get a Philly cheesesteak, they use the white American cheese, and it's a little bitter. It's good, though. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it sounded funny. White American.
We like to keep America white, baby.
I always tell Steph, and she hates it when I say this almost. Sometimes white is right. She hates it when I say that.
None of that yellow stuff. Sorry to my people. Okay. Sorry. Yellow stuff.
Let's be a little cautious.
You know what?
Yeah. No.
And with all this talk about food, let's go get some food, bro.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's about that time, guys. I'm hungry. Danny, I think we're both getting a little hangry. No.
Yeah, we are.
And we will wrap this up like the burritos we're hopefully going to eat or something. That's corny.
There's nothing
let's try this
worse
again.
than a not well wrapped burrito.
Yeah, anything not wrapped well, whether it's joints, it's just terrible. Don't do it. Find someone who can, and do it the right way.
Exactly.
And we're gonna leave, and we're gonna eat, and we're gonna be happy. And next week we might have an agenda.
Hey, not political one, by the way, but I am very. If you listen to this nonsense for I wouldn't say nonsense. If you listen to us ramble for 2 hours, thank you. We appreciate you, and we love you very, very much.
Yep. And if you love us, hit the subscribe button and tell your wife, tell your kids. Do your best.
Yes. Spread our propaganda to somebody else.
Yeah, and
we won't spread it.
Be nice, and let's make this viral. Not the Delta variant. Let's make this podcast go viral, huh?
I agree with that.
Yeah, and even if you don't, we're going to force it down your throats because we're going to be doing this every week like we've been doing for it's been a year.
No, it's been a year.
It has been a year. So it has been a year of consistency, and I feel like we've gotten a lot better. I feel like I've grown in more ways than one, and I'm happy. I got some ideas for other projects that I think we could do that might be interesting to help us keep things in line, because I think it might be better for us to do certain avenues for certain subjects, and then that way it's easier for our content to stay like inclusive. So there's a bunch of things but that's the thing. You grow things from projects that you do. So there's been a lot of growth, and I think we've been doing the right things with this project.
Absolutely, dude.
I'm excited to see what happens. Your band's been doing well.
Hey, thank you. Hey, here's to another year.
Here's to another year, buddy. Cheers. Throw a little Gatorade in there. I'm gonna have to pay them now. No, I'm kidding.
Here, hold on, let me put a wrapper around it.
Don't sue me, Danzig. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna send the Northside Kings down to collect now. Nice little fucking gem for anyone who remembers that.
Too soon.
If you don't remember it, Google it. All right.
Google it. Yeah, it's backstage. There's a lot here.
All right, Sheila. You know what to do, Sheila. Get us out of here, Sheila.
Recording stopped.
Awesome.
There she is.
There she is. Thank you, Director Sheila.